We love our tanks and often want to share photos, but the question is, how do you get those great looking aquarium shots? And today we're going to show you how.
And it's not as difficult as you might think.
Welcome to BRStv. Today we're going to talk about basic tank photography. Our reef tanks can be quite challenging to get good pictures of.
Yeah, and as you might expect, a professional grade DSLR camera with all of its features and settings and lenses is going to produce much better results than an average camera. But not everyone has access to a professional grade camera.
That's exactly right. So today we're going to focus on cell phone cameras. Most of the settings are going to be the same. Just keep in mind there might be minor tweaks depending on the age and model of your phone.
So before we start shooting, there's a few things we're going to want to do. The first thing, clean the glass. The last thing you want is to have a great shot and then find later that it's ruined by a smudge or some dirt on the glass.
Exactly. Number two, we're going to want to turn off the flow. This is going to reduce shimmer, giving it a more natural look, and it's also going to reduce the amount of particulate in the water column.
The third thing you're going to want to do is avoid using any flash. That flash is just going to reflect back off the glass and ruin the shot.
Exactly. Speaking of reflections, number four is going to be to turn the lights off in the room to reduce any unwanted reflections.
So the first thing you need to consider is color. Now, most reef aquarium lighting is set to give off an extreme amount of blue. That's great for coral, but not so great for taking pictures.
In fact, it's so blue that the sensors in our cameras don't handle it very well. So that's why they make these nice clip-on orange filters.
Yeah, so these things are great. It's a simple solution to the problem. All you have to do is slide the filter over your camera lens and the orange filter cancels out the blue light. As you can see from this, it makes a huge difference.
You can also use one of these professional orange filters or something as simple as some coral viewing glasses. Keep in mind though, it can be hard to find the right color of orange, so there is an alternative way. If you're running controllable LED lighting, you can simply change the light settings to have more white and less blue.
Now, this white light may look unappealing or a little strange to some people, but as you can see, the camera handles it much, much better.
It's also a good idea to use something to stabilize your shot. Any small amount of movement could cause the picture to be out of focus or blurry, and you could even go as far as to use something like a remote Bluetooth trigger to activate the shutter on your camera.
Not to mention the shaky video just doesn't look great. An easy option to fix that problem is to use a cell phone gimbal like this one. This allows you to move around the aquarium, capturing video without it becoming shaky. This is great for those hard to capture fish shots.
When you're shooting, it's best to be mostly straight onto the glass, but a slight angle can help reduce reflections and you can see more of the coral.
Another simple option to reduce reflection is to put something black behind the camera. In this case, I'm just going to use this black t-shirt and hold it up to block some of that light.
Everybody loves those really cool close-up macro shots. Can I get those with my cell phone?
Yeah, you sure can, and there are a few things you can do to make it a lot easier for yourself. Easiest thing is if the coral's right up against the glass, you've got no problem. You could, one, move that coral closer to the glass to get that better shot. Some people even set up a separate tank just for photography so that they can get those corals in the exact position they want them in. You could also use the zoom on your phone, especially if you've got a decent tripod setup, but a lot of the times that's going to lower the quality of the picture output. So what I recommend, one of the best options, is actually a macro lens adapter for your phone. These things work great and they're easy to use.
Something else you can use is one of these clip-on magnifying glasses. Now, I like these because even if I'm not taking photos of my tank, I can use them to inspect.
Absolutely. Another cool tool is the look-down box. Now, you've probably seen these before, but they're a great tool that allow you to just put your phone right inside of there, then drop it into the top of the tank and move it around to get a really unique perspective on some of your corals. Now, if you have a waterproof case, that can work even better. But no matter how you get the shot, you're probably going to want to do some level of color correction.
Exactly, and there's a couple of ways you can improve the photos. The easiest way is going to be an auto correction feature on your phone, or you could get as complex as third-party programs.
Now, every photo might need a little different treatment. I encourage you to play around with the settings until you find out what you like. At a basic level, I would adjust the exposure and add some contrast and saturation. You might also need to adjust the white balance settings to really dial in that shot.
All right, so now that we've gone over some of the basics, you can experiment with things like focus lock or burst mode to get really nice stills of your fish.
Sure, and don't forget about portrait mode, which will allow you to blur out some of that background and get that sort of cinematic look to your pictures. If you're gonna use video, I'd also recommend a 60 frame per second rate or higher. That'll allow you to, again, filter out some of that blur caused by the fish.
Exactly. The most important thing though, keep experimenting, find out what works for your tank.
Well, we really hope you guys have enjoyed this entry-level aquarium photography video. We'll see you guys next time.